Welcome. And today we are taking a little break from the usual drama by checking out some posts from some budding comedians on Reddit. Hi, this is Derek. I just put the Drama Llama, Fred, back in his pen so that I can do this quick video for you with some of the stuff that Fred found on Reddit earlier today. Fred says these posts will help us to wash away all that other drama, so that we don't take ourselves too seriously. Oh boy, let's get ready for some jokes. Fat person stepped up to the mic with. A man stumbles upon a magic lamp with a genie willing to grant him one wish. Man, I wish your name was Burger King. Genie, wait, what? Why? Man, it's for a joke, trust me. Genie, you'd waste a wish, something with the power to change the cosmos itself, for a joke? Man, yes. Burger King, have it your way. Reddit or 1301 came up to the stage with. Two foreign immigrants have just arrived in USA by boat and one says to the other, I hear that the people of this country actually eat dogs. Odd, her companion replies. But if we shall live in America, we might as well do as the Americans do. Nodding emphatically, one of the immigrants points to a hot dog vendor and they both walk toward the cart. 2 dogs, please, she says. The vendor is only too pleased to oblige, wraps both hot dogs in foil and hands them over the counter. Excited, the companions hurry to a bench and begin to unwrap their dogs. One of them opens the foil and begins to blush. Staring at it for a moment, she turns to her friend and whispers cautiously. What part did you get? Trust me, I'm a consultant tried his luck with. An American spy comes into a Soviet bar and orders a drink. No drink for US spies, said the barkeep. The spy goes pale. He pulls out a bottle of vodka and drains it in one big gulp. You drink like Russian, but you're American spy. The spy pulls out his accordion and plays a wonderful Russian folk song, everyone in the bar tearing up, including the barkeep. You sing like Russian, he said under tears, but you are American spy. He starts dancing the kozacho, worthy of the Bolshoi dancers. You dance like Russian, but you're American spy. Okay, you got me. But how do you know? There are no black Russians. Fedita 80 grabbed the mic and delivered. A guy is having a checkup at the doctor's. Do you think I will have a long and healthy life? I doubt it, says the doctor shaking his head. Mercury is in Uranus right now. I don't believe in that astrology crap, doc. Yeah, neither do I. My thermometer just broke. Random username 3828 strolled up with. A Chinese doctor can't find a job in a hospital in the US. So he opens a clinic and puts a sign outside that reads, get treatment for $20, if not cured get back $100. An American lawyer thinks this is a great opportunity to earn $100 and goes to the clinic. Lawyer, I have lost my sense of taste. Chinese, nurse, bring medicine from box number 22 and put 3 drops in patient's mouth. Lawyer, this is kerosene. Chinese, congrats, your sense of taste is restored. Give me $20. The annoyed lawyer goes back after a few days to recover his money. Lawyer, I have lost my memory. I cannot remember anything. Chinese, nurse, bring medicine from box number 22 and put 3 drops in his mouth. Lawyer, annoyed, this is kerosene. You gave this to me last time for restoring my taste. Chinese, congrats. You got your memory back. Give me $20. The fuming lawyer pays him, and then comes back a week later determined to get back $100. Lawyer, my eyesight has become very weak, I can't see at all. Chinese, well, I don't have any medicine for that, so take this $100. Lawyer, staring at the note, but this is $20, not $100. Chinese, congrats, your eyesight is restored. Give me $20. Bookhead 714 grabbed the mic with. A man murdered his wife and was sentenced to death. There was a crowd waiting around the gallows to watch. As the hangman put the noose around his neck, he was asked, do you have any last words? The murderer said, yeah, I have a joke that I came up with while I was waiting. So, I hadn't showered for a week by the day I killed my wife. I tied her up and told her that I'd cut her apart while she was still alive, and she told me, at least cut my nose off first. Everyone there burst out laughing. The hangman said, That joke was about something terrible. Why was it so funny? Well, I believe you can make a joke about any topic funny, said the murderer. After all, good comedy is all about execution. Poor Choi Gupta walked on with. Therapist, so what brings the two of you here today? My wife, it's impossible to live with him. He's too literal. Me. My truck. R8 RH8 Rapotsvar got his chance. A Jewish man and a Chinese man are in a bar. Suddenly, the Jewish man punches the Chinese man in the face. Ow. Why did you do that? Asks the Chinese man. That's for Pearl Harbor, says the Jewish man. But the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. I'm Chinese, says the Chinese man. Chinese, Japanese, what's the difference? Asks the Jewish man. So the Chinese man punches the Jewish man. Ow. What's that for? Asks the Jewish man. It's for the Titanic, says the Chinese man. What? That was an iceberg that brought down the Titanic, says the Jewish man. Iceberg, Goldberg, what's the difference? Bruce Moose 1 went on with. I read online today that humans, on average, eat more bananas than monkeys. It's right, you know. I cannot remember the last time I ate a monkey. 3 swiftly grab the mic next. The first rule of passive-aggressive club is. You know what, never mind. It's fine. Hell's Juggernaut was up next with. I accidentally sprayed deodorant in my mouth. Now when I talk, I have this weird accent. Yum Yum Sauce 5661 made a mad dash for the stage and delivered. Is your refrigerator running? If so, I may vote for it. Cyclopropagative took a chance with. A French, a German and an Italian spy are captured one day. The captors grab the French spy, take him to the next room and tie his hands behind a chair. They then proceed to torture him for 2 hours before he finally cracks, answers all questions, and gives up all of his secrets. The captors then grab the German spy. They tie his hands behind the chair in the next room too and torture him for 4 hours before he finally cracks and tells them what they want to know. They then grab the Italian spy. Once again, they tie his hands behind the chair and begin torturing. 4 hours go by and the spy isn't talking. Then 8 hours, then 16, and after 24 hours they give up and throw him back into the cell. The German and French spy are impressed and ask him how he managed to not talk. The Italian spy says, I wanted to, but I couldn't move my hands. Edit, I know this is usually frowned upon, but thanks to each and everyone who awarded or upvoted this post. You guys made my day. Hey Shilton grabbed the mic next with. A man drives a train in Bulgaria. One day, he falls asleep driving and runs over someone walking on the tracks. Well, his case goes to court and he gets the death sentence for murder. So, he's on death row and the executioner approaches him. What would you like for your last meal? I would like a banana please. The executioner thinks it's weird, but shrugs and gives him a banana. The guy eats his banana, waits a while, and gets strapped into the electric chair. When they flip the switch, nothing happens. In Bulgaria, such an act of divine intervention means you get released. A few months go by, and the train driver has been working for a new company. Well, old habits die hard, and he falls asleep again, killing 2 people this time. The court has no patience for recklessness, so he ends up on death row again. After a while, the same executioner from last time approaches him. You again? Dang. What do you want this time? 2 bananas please. The executioner shrugs and hands him 2 bananas. A bit weird, but whatever. There's no way he can cheat death twice. But, when they flip the switch, nothing happens again. The train driver walks a second time. Some time passes, and the executioner is very busy. After another few months, the same dude shows up, apparently having run over 3 people with a train. Exacerbated, the executioner approaches him for the 3rd time. Let me guess. 3 bananas? Actually yes. How did you know? Too bad. This has gone on long enough. No more bananas. Today you fry. So, the train driver gets strapped into the chair with no last meal. But, when they flip the switch, nothing happens again. I don't get it, says the executioner. I didn't let you eat any bananas. It's not the bananas, sighed the prisoner. I'm a very bad conductor. I don't know, that one was kind of. Next. Demon 2717 got a chance and delivered. A feminist talked to me about the Dwayne Johnson rule. The rule, as she explained it, was that in order to determine if a particular comment was appropriate to say to a woman, first ask yourself, would I be comfortable saying this to Dwayne Johnson? If not, don't say it. I thought this sounded like a good rule. So I told her, your chest is effing epic. Amon12301 strolled up on stage with. A man met a beautiful girl and he decided he wanted to marry her right away. She protested, but we don't know anything about each other. He replied, that's all right, we'll learn about each other as we go along. So she consented and they were married, and they went on their honeymoon to a very nice resort. One morning, they were lying by the pool when he got up off his towel, climbed up to the 30-foot high board and did a 2.5 tuck gainer, entering the water perfectly, almost without a ripple. This was followed by 3 rotations in jackknife position before he again straightened out and cut the water like a knife. After a few more demonstrations, he came back and lay down on his towel. She said, that was incredible. He said, I used to be an Olympic diving champion. You see, I told you we'd learn more about ourselves as we went along. So she got up, jumped in the pool and started doing laps. She was moving so fast that the ripples from her pushing off at one end of the pool would hardly be gone before she was already touching the other end of the pool. After about 30 laps, completed in mere minutes, she climbed back out and lay down on her towel, barely breathing hard. He said, that was incredible. Were you an Olympic endurance swimmer? No, she said, I was a prostitute in Venice and I worked both sides of the canal. Zhao Dude 8 was next with. An Italian, a Scotsman, and a Chinese man are hired at a construction site. The foreman points out a huge pile of sand and says to the large, muscular Scotsman, he says, you're in charge of shoveling. To the slightly less muscular but still large Italian man, he says, you're in charge of sweeping. And to the skinny Chinese man he says, you're in charge of supplies. He then says, now, I have to leave for a little while. I expect you men to make a dent in that pile of sand. So the foreman goes away for a couple of hours and when he returns, the pile of sand is untouched. He asks the Italian, why didn't you sweep any of it? He replies, I no have no brome. You said to the Chinese guy that he was in charge of supplies, but he howsa disappeared and I no coulda find him nowhere. The foreman turns to the Scotsman and says, and you, I thought I told you to shovel this pile. He replied, he did lad, but I couldn't get mazel a shovel. You left on we Chinese manny in charge of supplies, but I couldn't fin him anywhere. The foreman is really pissed off now and storms off towards the pile of sand to look for the Chinese guy. As he approaches the mound, the Chinese guy leaps out from behind the sand and yells, supplies! Whoa whoa whoa, did he just say that? Next. Poor Choi Gupta went on with. I was looking for a sofa to buy, and the salesman pointed to one and said, this one can seat 3 people without any problems. I said, where the hell am I going to find 3 people without any problems? Crystalish took a chance with. If you open a camp to help kids with ADHD, is it a concentration camp? Strange assonance then got his chance. A woman brought a very limp duck into a veterinary surgeon. As she laid her pet on the table, the vet pulled out his stethoscope and listened to the bird's chest. After a moment or two, the vet shook his head and sadly said, I'm sorry, your duck, Cuddles, has passed away. The distressed woman wailed, are you sure? Yes, I am sure. Your duck is dead, replied the vet. How can you be so sure? She protested. I mean, you haven't done any testing on him or anything. He might just be in a coma or something. The vet rolled his eyes, turned around and left the room. He returned a few minutes later with a black Labrador retriever. As the duck's owner looked on in amazement, the dog stood on his hind legs, put his front paws on the examination table and sniffed the duck from top to bottom. He then looked up at the vet with sad eyes and shook his head. The vet patted the dog on the head and took it out of the room. A few minutes later he returned with a cat. The cat jumped on the table and also delicately sniffed the bird from head to foot. The cat sat back on its haunches, shook its head, meowed softly and strolled out of the room. The vet looked at the woman and said, "I'm sorry, but as I said, this is most definitely, 100% certifiably, a dead duck." The vet turned to his computer terminal, hit a few keys and produced a bill, which he handed to the woman. The duck's owner, still in shock, took the bill. $150? She cried, $150 just to tell me my duck is dead. The vet shrugged, "I'm sorry. If you had just taken my word for it, the bill would have been $20. But with a lab report and a CAT scan, it's now $150. Big Wiggly 69 decided to take a turn with Yoda and Luke are walking through the swamp. Part of their usual training course involves shimmying along a cliff ledge, but today, there's a long break in the ledge they can't cross. "Something for this, I have," Yoda says. He reaches into his bag and takes out a bunch of regular dinner table forks and a roll of duct tape. He tapes several forks together to make a bridge and lays it down, allowing the two of them to get across. When they get back to Yoda's hovel, they find that some creature has chewed a hole in the fence around Yoda's garden. "Something for this, I have," Yoda says again. Once again, he takes a bunch of forks out of his bag and, using duct tape, tapes them in to patch the hole. Yoda and Luke return to Yoda's home, where Yoda looks through his bag. He's used all his forks but one, he discovers. "That's okay, Master," Luke says, wanting to be helpful. "I'll write us a note reminding us to buy more." So he writes the note and uses the very last fork to pin it to the bulletin board. He looks down at Yoda expecting pride, but instead finds a look of horror. "Master Yoda?" he asks. "What did I do wrong?" Yoda replies sagely, "A Jedi uses the forks for no ledge in the fence. Never for attack." And finally Mark, whose skills got his chance to share. Did you know too much sex can cause memory loss? I read that in a medical journal on page 34 at 3:23 p.m. last year on Wednesday, November the 7th. Ha 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 ha. You know, he might have a point. I can honestly say that I don't remember much myself. Well, there you have it. A perfectly great set of jokes posted by a bunch of fine and funny citizens. Help support this channel by smashing the like and subscribe buttons. And hit that silly little bell as well to ensure you get the latest videos as they come out. Fred is always finding stuff for me to post regularly. So this is Derek signing off. Thanks for watching. Good grief, it sounds like Fred is out of his pen again. He must have found more funny jokes for me to share with you. See you soon.